Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to take a few minutes here and show you something that's kind of interesting to me as a home inspector. I'm in a new construction home. Um, New construction homes, we've talked about on videos, blog posts on our website at doublecinspection.com. We do lots of new construction inspections, maybe more than most inspection companies in the area do. The reason why I feel like is because we're very detailed. We're detail oriented. We want to make sure we catch the stuff that's going to bother you tomorrow, but also the things that are going to bother you a year from now or 10 years from now, potentially. Obviously, like any inspector, we can't see the future. We're not fortune tellers. There's no warranties on what we do, just like any other inspector, because we can't control the future, but we want to try to find those defects that are going to make the most impact on your life in any construction home, whether it's 100 years old or brand new. So I want to show you something here that we find often in new construction, something that's interesting to me and probably be interesting to you. Okay, so when a home builder is building a home, at least in theory, the contractors are going to be going by something called code. You've probably heard of code, I'm sure. Basically, it's building standard requirements for everybody. Now, different jurisdictions can adopt or not adopt different things, but something that's been code for a very long time, decades, is GFCI protection in wet areas. What's a wet area? Well, obviously a bathroom's a wet area. Kitchens, exterior, garage, stuff like that. There's a little more specifics when it comes to code, but basically in a nutshell, that's what it's talking about. So builders building the code, a home inspector is not inspecting the code. We're not code inspectors. We are real estate inspectors. So we're inspecting for a real estate transaction 99 times out of 100, maybe 999 times out of 1,000, really. And this is a real estate transaction. So I'm going by TREC standards. Who is TREC? That's the Texas Real Estate Commission. That's who license inspectors, but they also license realtors. They do not license home builders. In fact, in Texas, home builders are not licensed. So guess what? You live in Texas, you want to be a home builder. All you got to do is get your business license. Now you're a home builder. Yay! Even if you don't know anything about home building. So there's some great home builders out there, just like any other industry. And there's some that are not so great. This one is fine. I mean, they're not bad or good at this particular home, as far as I can tell. But one thing that's really common with home builders that don't build a lot of homes is they miss things that are just kind of simple, everyday things that a home builder that builds hundreds or thousands of homes is probably not going to miss, or at least they're less likely to miss. So one thing we talked about was GFCI protection at the beginning of this ramble that I just did. And GFCI protection is basically, I plug my tester in there. Okay, it's telling me green. Green's good for all of us here in America, you know, just like a green light. So I can test it like this and it trips. The actual way you're supposed to test it is pushing that test button on the receptacles there and it trips. So it trips, it has no power. Now you're protected, at least in theory, in a wet area. Okay, that's good. That's the way it should be. So we have one there, we have one there. But there's other outlets in this, there's other receptacles, however you want to term it, whatever terminology you prefer. There's other receptacles or outlets in this bathroom. Okay, so this is still in the bathroom. There's a shower right there. So this one should be protected. It's not. Tested it with my tester. I'll go ahead and put these other ones here on the counter that are clearly GFCI protected, and it's still not tripping. Okay, so, and this is what I mean by simple things. So if you're an electrician, at least in theory, they have an electrician doing this work. An electrician should know that. The reason they didn't catch that is maybe there's not an understanding of the code, and maybe there's not an understanding of why it's code. I think if you explain to anybody, this is why we have GFCI protection in wet areas, because it protects the person operating that particular receptacle or that particular outlet or that particular item that's plugged into it. And if you explain that to them, oh, I get it. So basically everywhere in a wet area needs GFCI protection. Essentially, yeah. However, if you're not a licensed electrician, or you're an electrician that doesn't understand that, or maybe you're just sloppy, you're not going to catch those things, which like we just saw. To me, those are things that indicate either the home builder doesn't really understand code or is not going by code, or their contractor doesn't understand code or is not going by code. And that can be a bigger problem than just some simple outlets that are easy fix stuff. It can be major things in a home too. So one more reason why, whether you're buying a brand new home from the most experienced, largest home builder in America, or you're buying a brand new home from somebody that builds one home a year, or you're buying a 100-year-old home somewhere, you need a home inspection. And you don't need just any home inspector or just any home inspector company. There's plenty of them out there that do just fine. And there's plenty of them out there just like home builders that are not worth anything. So make sure you do your research, ask questions, find out how experienced they are. A lot of folks that contact us for home inspections, the first question is price, which, I mean, that's kind of a quantifiable thing that everybody can distill things down to, but that shouldn't be your first question. Your first question, if you're going to ask a question, is should be, how experienced are you? Collectively, Double C Home Inspections, we've completed over 4,000 inspections at this point. Our average inspection takes 2 or 3 hours, so we're looking at somewhere around 8,000 to 12,000 hours doing this. If you go by the 10,000 rules, that should be, we know what we're doing at this point. There's plenty of inspectors out there more experienced than that. There's plenty of inspectors, in fact, hundreds, even in West Texas, that are far less experienced than that. So make sure you ask questions. The first question you should ask should always be experience, which is where, a good inspector is going to know what they're doing if they've been doing it long enough, at least in theory. If you have questions, you have concerns, you want to talk more about GFCIs, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out on our website. You can email me, text me, phone calls. Obviously, I'd love to have comments in the video here. So again, thanks for watching. Have a good day.